Mountain, Island, Lightning Bolt, Spell Pierce, Switchblade, Stab Wound, Red Mage, Blue Mage.
Wow. Magic the Gathering.
Why is it every time you want to talk over me? I'm so tired of it.
All right, introduce us. Lead us in.
Hi, I'm Amber. I play red.
Hi, I'm Kenny. I play blue.
What were you waiting for?
I didn't want to step on your toes.
I said it, and it's time to go. Okay, we're Magic, the Gathering Podcast.com. We got lists. We got topics, of which I don't know any because someone would not let me prepare.
I got a super special surprise for you in this super special surprise edition of Red Mage, Blue Mage.
I don't like where this is going.
How does that sound?
Not great.
Sound like a slice of fried gold?
Why would anybody want that?
You don't want gold?
I guess I could just brush off all the stuff and then I could just sell it. So yeah, actually, I'm ready for it. Are you giving me gold? Is that what's happening?
Oh my god.
Accept that.
I'm giving you something almost as good. I'm giving you a trip to Flavortown.
Oh no.
Oh yeah. Welcome to Flavortown. Home of the creamiest flavors this side of Berlin. I can't run. It is a lurgoid.
So this is something that we've kicked around, an idea that we've kicked around for a long time.
What?
So we've talked about the story, and I filled you in on story stuff. You've talked about things that you want to see in the story, and you've even written some of your own fan fiction.
Very true.
We've talked about, and this is what we're doing today, we're going to read some actual magic fiction.
Like out loud to me?
Yeah, I'm going to read you some fiction, and you are going to react.
I'm excited now.
See? I told you would like this.
Oh boy, this is better than fried gold.
I told you. I knew it. So yeah, this is going to be, for you, this is going to be a reaction video. So I'm going to be reading a story.
Well, there is no video.
This is going to be a reaction audio.
You should take screenshots of me. We do.
You should do
look
that.
at each other. No, I don't. I'm a tiny little square.
You can flip it.
I don't know how to flip it.
See me at the top right? There you go.
I'm still tiny.
All right, but flip it.
I can't flip it. What are you talking about flipping it?
Just flip it.
I hate you.
I guess you can't flip it in FaceTime.
God, fuck off.
Damn it. All right, just flip it, though.
Anyway, cut that out. We don't need. No one needs to hear us struggling about flipping FaceTime.
They'll hear about it.
Okay, whatever.
Okay, so, are you ready?
No. First,
Yes.
I need to get some popcorn.
Okay.
2,
Yes.
more chicky nuggies. 3,
She's not kidding.
A burger.
She's also not kidding about that.
4, 3 packets of honey mustard.
All true so far.
5, a sody.
You can hear it.
And now I'm ready.
The story may begin. Okay. So, this story is from the Magic website. This is called Chronicle of Bolas, the Twins, by Kate Elliott.
So, I just want to say to Kate Elliott, right off the bat, I don't know you. I don't know your writing. And if I laugh or make fun of anything, I apologize. And I am sorry. That's it. That's all I got to say as a preface.
Nice. All right. Our story begins. Feel free to stop me at any point. I'm sure you will.
Okay, let's go.
Did you hear that? The glissade of ticking and popping sounds had been faint, almost inaudible.
Wait, what was that first word?
The glissade.
What the fuck is a glissade?
So you called me out on Googling something before we started recording. I was Googling how to pronounce glissade.
What the fuck is a glissade? Is it like a glassy facade?
I mean, that's a good guess. Glissade. A way of sliding down a steep slope of snow or ice, typically on the feet with the support of an ice axe. That's a word. That's a specific word.
I mean, I know a moraine is like a terrain where a glacier has pushed through. So I guess there's just a lot of very specific ice-related words.
Yes.
And how people interact with. Okay, so say the sentence again.
The glissade of ticking and popping sounds had been faint, almost inaudible.
So the falling down an icy thing with an ice axe tinkling. Okay, continue.
So it's describing a sound, but you can't imagine that you can't hear it. If it hadn't been such a still day, Niva would have thought it a trick of the breeze caught in the branches of a nearby stand of stunted juniper trees. So we have our first character, Niva.
She was stuck in a tree?
She would have thought it, yeah. She's a nearby stand of... So she's in some sort of, like, icy woods. All right? Spear in hand.
It was cold in the icy woods where
Niva was.
I've already had to stop in 2 sentences to figure out what's happening.
All right, but we're good so far. Niva, okay. Imagine woman, Niva's, spear, woods. Got it.
Woods, got it. It's cold. It's tinkling.
Spear in hand, she studied the snow-draped land. A steep slope above them tilted dizzily towards the monstrous white summit of the mountain called Eternal Ice.
That's my rap name.
The deep slash of a valley led down to where their large hunting party had been encamped since the new moon. All around, the high peaks of the Kal Sisma cut into the sky like so many jagged teeth. Dragons lazily glided in circles on the updrafts above the peaks.
How many? 50? 30? To 1,000? How many dragons?
Dragons and humans weren't the only hunters in the mountains. She scanned the debris field of rocks in which the juniper grew. Nothing moved that she could see, but a few more quiet pops and ticks sounded. Bye! Goblin claws make that noise on rock. So there's another character named Bai. She's talking to them.
Okay.
Baishia. I don't know how to pronounce this. You want to give us a try? I'll spell it for you. How would you pronounce this?
Okay.
Baishya.
I have to write it out. Say it again.
Bai.
Oh shit.
Sh.
Sorry. Hold on.
I gave you 3 letters.
B what?
Bai. Sh. Ya. Baishia. Sure.
Whatever.
She called her Bai, which okay.
Okay, great.
Baishia knelt 10 paces away on an exposed outcrop of rock that stuck up above the densely packed snowfield, which they'd walked halfway across. Head bowed, she raised a hand for silence. Bai. Niva kept her voice low. We need to keep moving. You're too impatient. My vision led me right here, I'm sure of it. There's nothing to see. Yes, there is. You just can't see it. I don't think you can see it either. You just say so to get grandmother's attention because you're not as good at hunting as I am. This is like... I'll interrupt here. This is some telling, not showing going on.
Well, yeah, okay. I'm a good hunter. You suck.
And you're just trying to get our grandmother's attention. All right.
And her gold. Okay, continue.
Baishia looked back over her shoulder, with the familiar lift of her chin and roll of eyes. Everyone in the clan said the 2 girls looked exactly alike, but Niva absolutely knew for certain she personally never had that smug look of complacency on her face. Not ever. No matter how accurately you throw your spear, and how expertly you wield a knife, you're no use as a hunter if you can't keep your mouth shut. Especially not to complain about me. You didn't have to come with me.
Wait, is the good hunter the one talking a lot right now?
That was Baishia, I think.
So who's the good hunter?
Niva is the hunter. Baishia is having visions.
Wait, so Baishia is jealous of the hunter?
She's saying it doesn't matter how good a hunter you are. You need to keep your mouth shut.
But she's the one talking so much right now.
Yeah.
You're a bad hunter.
Nifa responds, someone has to keep you safe when you hear voices telling you to climb sacred mountains that are off limits to ordinary people. Nifa broke off.
Nobody talks like this to each other.
I know. A low whumph, like a huge bear stamping a foot, shuddered through the air. Crack shot across the hard surface of the snow higher up the slope. Yes?
Keep going. Never mind. Don't worry about it.
Baishia pressed her hands to her face, as if a bright light was blinding her. "They're here," she said in a tone of awe, oblivious to the danger. The snow broke, starting to slide. Niva plunged forward, dragged Baishia off the outcrop, and threw them down behind it. They flattened themselves into a slight overhang, backs pressed against the rock. The booming roar of the avalanche deafened them. Niva flipped up her outer mantle of Khrushchev skin, holding it open with her arms as snow cascaded over the outcrop and roared on down the slope. But it wouldn't be enough. The mountain was named Eternal Ice because its snowfield was so solid and stable, a holy place where hunters dared not hunt, and only whisperers would walk when they were lured there by the voices of their ancestors. Yet now all the snow and ice of generations had broken, and it was going to bury them.
They had explained to us why it was called Eternal Ice.
It doesn't super make sense because it's avalanching right now.
Well,
is that why it's such a big deal?
It's because they're special. Is it because this mountain wants to kill them especially, and so it was Eternal Ice, but because they're so annoying, it's like, no, God, shut up! I need to kill you,
You're
and so
dead.
I'm going to kill you now because you just keep bickering and talking like robots, and I hate it.
Maybe, yeah. The dialogue is definitely the big weak point at this point in the story. But
how much of the story is there?
There's a lot. We might have to do this in several parts, which is fine.
I hope this is good listening for you listeners. Okay, let's hear what's going on now.
The action is cresting right now. I can't believe we stopped this.
I can.
Niva did not fear death, but she was suddenly furious that Baishia was so determined to prove herself as a shaman that she had to drag her twin on a reckless quest, so they would die together as they had been born together, locked in a cold tomb.
Wait! Was her mom dead when they were born?
Or just very cold.
Also, how many times are we going to reinforce that they're twins?
They are twins. We should say that.
Just in case you didn't pick it up when they were talking about
how reached out her hand, the same as Niva's hands, for they were identical.
Except the one clearly never had a smug look on it.
One hand was calloused, as if it had held a spear every day since it was born.
And one was weak and withered like an old person because all they do is nothing.
One has an eyeball tattoo on it because of the visions. All right.
My God.
Baisha's hands began to glow with a greenish light. That's a sentence. That's a sentence in this story.
What does it say again?
Baisha's hands began to glow with a greenish light.
Greenish.
The sight so astonished Niva that she forgot to be afraid. As the snow poured down, cascading over the top of the overhang. Yes?
What was that first word at the beginning again? Glashad? Glissade? She could put glissade, but used greenish? I don't... Continue.
Yeah, I agree. That's a good writing lesson real quick. If it's greenish light, just say green light. Doesn't take anything away. Alright. The sight so astonished Niva that she forgot to be afraid. As the snow poured down, cascading over the top of the overhang, sliding around the curve of the outcrop, burying them in the ice of the ancestors, her sister began to mold and shape the crushing snow into a wall in front of them. The snow thundered against this barrier, bowing it inward. Niva held her breath, thinking the snow would splinter and give way. But the magical wall held. The noise lessened. The rumbling faded into a pregnant silence. Pregnant with twins.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
It should have been too dark to see, except Baisha's hands were glowing with the eerie, wispy light. Greenish. Niva's voice had frozen in her throat because it was so cold. I added that part. Her breath blew clouds of mist in front of her eyes, only it was not her breath.
Wait, what?
That's a paragraph by itself. Niva's voice had frozen in her throat. Her breath blew clouds of mist in front of her eyes, only it was not her breath.
What's the next sentence?
The wall dissolved into a white haze like the soft fall of a heavy snowstorm. We're just going to ignore that, I guess. Gauzy figures walked out of the snowfall. Okay, so there's other people here.
Okay, ancestors.
They were mostly human in shape, tall, slender, walking on 2 legs, but not on the snow, rather on the troubled gusts of air rising from the catastrophic collapse. One wore a cloth the color of moonlight wrapped around its waist, speckled with darts of green like glowing eyes. The others wore wispy scarves as delicate as dew-laden spider webs. Instead of hair and beards, they had filaments growing from their pale flesh.
Oh, God.
These delicate string-like tentacles curled and waved in strange patterns.
Ooh.
Baisha touched her own ears as if trying to muffle a howling clamor of multiple people shouting all at once. Niva heard nothing, still deafened by the aftermath of the roaring sound, or perhaps because she wasn't worthy. She couldn't hear what the elementals were saying, if they were saying anything at all. They're elementals, I guess.
Yep.
Baisha's eyes rolled up in her head, and she slumped forward in a faint. They had coaxed them up here to kill and eat them. Niva grabbed her spear.
Wait, what?
That's the next sentence. Baisha jolted forward and clamped down hard on her sister's arm. No, don't be stupid. The wind folk came to warn us, not to hurt us. As if her voice was a shattering blow, the elementals vanished into a thick cloud of snowflakes. Or maybe that was just a concealment spell used to hide their retreat. You can't just hit first and ask questions later, Nai. You have to listen. I didn't hear anything. You never do. Baisha shook snow off her mantle and eased out from under the overhang. Her gasp of shock shot fear into Niva's bones.
Wait.
Yes?
Say that sentence again?
Baisha shook snow off her mantle and eased out from under the overhang. Her gasp of shock shot fear into Niva's bones.
Her gasp of fear shocked shock?
Her gasp of shock shot fear.
Oh, okay. I thought you said her gasp shocked shock into... Weow. Wait, did she want to eat those people?
I think the idea is that Niva is like, oh, these people, I want to stab them. And her sister's like, no, they're not real.
No, don't stab things. Okay.
Her gasp of shock shot fear to Niva's bones. She pushed out beside her sister. Niva had always walked boldly where Baisha crept with hesitation. But even for Niva, this was too much. She gaped at the destructive path cut by the avalanche. Wide stripes and patches of bare rock had been exposed on the mountainside. Half the massive snowfield had caved away, pouring into the valley to smother it in vast heaps of snow. Grandmother and the camp are down there, Niva cried, imagining their broken bodies.
You added that.
No, I did not.
You didn't?
Niva cried, imagining their broken bodies.
She's a... Wow!
But she didn't cry.
Okay.
Tears would not bring them back. They're all right. That's Bai saying that. How can you know? Mm-hmm. The windfolk told me. They called me here to give me a message for grandmother. What did they say? She rubbed her eyes as if they were burning. I have to tell grandmother. Not me? Don't you trust me? Why do you always make it about you? I don't always make it about me.
Oh my God!
A faint boom sounded as another avalanche ripped away at an unseen slope. Sound causes avalanches too, Baisha added in a whisper. As if I don't know that. Then why are you still talking?
I can't wait for them to kill each other.
Niva,
just do it!
Niva bit back a retort. It was so annoying when Baisha was right, but she was right. And Niva knew
I don't know why that tickles me so much. I hate when she's right. She's right.
And Niva knew better to risk loud sounds where another avalanche might easily break. She grabbed her spear and the pack. She has a pack. They picked their way as quickly as was safe across the remains of the snowfield. The avalanche had hit the debris field full on, tossing stones farther down the mountain. Here they found the corpses of a small pack of goblins, smashed and smothered.
No! There'll be more.
Told you something was stalking us, Niva muttered. Baisha waved a hand for silence. An object scraped softly on a rock. Niva whipped around just as a squat, blood-splattered goblin leaped from behind a boulder right at her.
Goblin, kill them, kill them.
Its claws raked for her head, but she slammed its torso with the haft of her spear and sent it tumbling.
1-1.
The tip of its claw caught on her leather shoulder plate. She used its momentum to flip it off her and onto the ground. It hit hard, feet scrambling for purchase as it attempted to get to its feet. She was faster, with a cut to its hit to cripple it, in and out through the skin and gristle, followed by a stab to the face.
Wow, she's vicious.
The first poke missed, and the point skittered on the rock. The goblin snapped at her arm, teeth catching on her leather vambrace. I don't know what that is. She stomped hard once, slamming its head back again, then circled her spear point back and skewered it with a thrust through the eye into the brain.
Damn.
Wow.
My nugs.
Have a victory nugget. This one sentence is a paragraph by itself. Blood leaked brightly over the snow.
So poignant and visceral.
I like saying so poignant as you eat a chicken nugget.
It's a spicy nug. Just like the story.
She gave herself a moment of grim amusement that she had reason to be thankful for the avalanche. A single goblin was no danger to a hunter, but against so many she and Baisha could have been overwhelmed.
But she killed 2 of them, right?
I think she just killed 1. She just missed the first time. Baisha had her knife out, kicking each of the crushed goblins to make sure there was no life in them. Niva wiped her blade clean in the snow, shook out their game net, and rolled the small bodies into it. The tribe isn't starving, Nye. No one wants to eat a goblin. We are not leaving meat behind, not with dragons so close. Dragging the laden net behind them, they slogged over to where stands of hardy juniper offered a more stable path down into the valley. Clouds of white haze were still billowing skyward along the avalanche's path. The dragons, taking it as a game, raced in from the distant peaks to breathe fire onto the heaps of snow. Meltwater churned down the valley's cleft in rising bursts of white water.
So, are dragons in this plane, wherever we're at, like dogs or something?
No. So we're on...
Because...
Oh, go ahead.
Where are we at? What plane are we on?
Tarkir.
No Tarkir.
So, I believe, if I'm not mistaken... Well, I know the overall story of Tarkir. When we first visited Tarkir, it's a world where there used to be dragons, and dragons, defined all of culture. But the Khans, which are like the tribes of this world, killed all the dragons. There's no dragons left anymore.
Wow.
And these Khans, the first set was Khans of Tarkir. These tribes rule the world. Then in the middle set, Sarkhan Vol goes back in time and changes history and makes it so that the dragons live. And then the last set, Dragons of Tarkir, is the present again, but time has been changed. And now dragons are everywhere. The dragons rule everything. So these humans are like survivors in a world ruled by dragons.
So,
yes.
There's a lot of dragons.
There are a lot of dragons.
So when I visioned in the first couple of paragraphs where dragons are just rolling around on snow, wind, whatever, there was 5,000 of them. Yeah,
you should imagine them like flocks of birds, basically.
Okay. That was because in my mind, dragons are aren't going to waste their time eating a bunch of goblins.
Right.
Outside of a mountain. But if there's 20,000 dragons flying around and they're all starving.
There's a lot of dragons. This is a world where they had, in the last set, they had dragons in every color and at every rarity, I think.
Okay.
So let's continue. Even if they survive the avalanche, how can they survive such a flood? Niva whispered, heart cold. She hated being afraid. It made her angry.
When I'm afraid, I'm also angry. I can connect with this character now.
The Windfolk promised me, yet Baisha's voice shook, no longer certain. She reached for Niva, and they clasped hands for shared reassurance in a twin-like way.
They were just fighting.
This was how it had always been. Born when the midwife had cut open the belly of their dead mother.
I called it!
You did. Even then, they'd been holding hands. The stream at the bottom of the valley had swollen into a rampaging river, sweeping far past its banks, and now brown with debris and soil.
When you said swollen, I was like a pregnant belly.
And torn up vegetation. They could not descend directly into the valley, lest they be swept up in the flood, so they took a longer route, picking their way along the slope at an angle. We could be moving faster if we didn't have to haul this dead weight. Baisha gestured to the lifeless goblins tumbled up into the net.
And her sister.
I say that to myself about you all the time.
Is that really the extra chart? Yeah.
Baisha
laughed. Push each other to the river.
Baisha laughed and stopped complaining. But in fact, Naiva's mind was churning through every possible disaster. If grandmother was dead...
Is this character me? This is me.
If grandmother was dead, what then? Was it better to go to Iagor, where there was a permanent encampment devoted to the feeding of Dragon Lord Atarka? Or to join a new hunting band, one of the many that ranged widely through the vast territory of the Kal Sisma to find new sources of game? Or to journey to the borderlands, where small hunting parties lived in defensible caves and ran patrols? She intended to survive, and that meant finding people who would take them in. People who wouldn't mind Baisha's absent-mindedness when she burned a pan of roasting barley, or her dreamy staring at the sky when she was supposed to be scraping a hide. People who wouldn't just turn her twin over to Atarka once they discovered she was a shaman. Yet, what if Baisha was a burden heavier than the net of dead goblins? What if there was no group that would risk taking in a young, inexperienced whisperer whose presence could get them all killed? Could the two girls survive alone? Or would Naiva have to let her go?
Tune in next time.
That's right. I think that's a great place to stop.
Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, shit. So, part 1 of the Chronicles of Bolas, the twins.
I forgot it was about... Wait. Bolas?
Yeah.
What does he have to do with this? Is he from Tarkir?
Good question.
Is he gonna eat them?
I don't know.
God, I want that. I hate them so much, these two characters already.
I was gonna say, from a writing perspective, what are your thoughts about this?
Dialogue is not realistic.
No.
That is not how people talk to each other.
No.
We're supposed to be like... Are we supposed to be in... it's like third person, right? But no, it's actually from What's-Her-Face's point of perspective.
It's like omniscient, but it's filtered through Naiva.
Yeah. I think it's... If I was to, like, say, like, the writing style, I feel bad for people who have to write for Magic. If they haven't... For several reasons. Like, if they're, like, super fast deadline, right. We need you to write a story.
Right.
Or they don't have a lot of experience in the Magic world. But it's also really weird to have lots of different people write Magic stories, because then you have inconsistent tone. Like, if they had, like, 4 people who consistently were writing Magic the Gathering things, that would be interesting.
And we're meeting and talking to each other.
Yeah. But, like, this one specifically, it just feels very much like something I would have written in, like, 9th grade. Yeah. Which isn't to say, like, it's bad or, like, it's awful. It's just kind of clunky.
It is clunky, yeah.
Like I said, the contrast of glissade versus... It reminds me when I tried to be too put on. Mm-hmm. Like, I was trying too hard to sound, like, smart, and so I was just throwing words in there that didn't really, like... Right.
It's like my students going to thesaurus.com.
Yeah, and, like, there's better... There's sometimes a trade-off. It's like, who's gonna know what a glissade is?
Everyone will have to either not know what that word is or go look it up.
Because there's other ways to make something sound like like the tinkling of icicles, essentially. Like, to me, it was weird. Like, that first sentence really sounded a weird, like...
Sure. You could have said, like, the sound of breaking glass or something.
Yeah, like, through a pillowcase. I don't know. Like... something else. I don't know. But yeah, and then to say greenish,
right,
later on, or green like, or like, it's something I try to do myself all the time, especially when in GMing, when you describe something to your players, you don't say it's kind of like this, or it's kind of like that. You say, no, it's a room that is the size of a whatever.
Yeah, I was thinking exactly the same thing. The one that I do and encounter all the time is, you see what appears to be. It's like, just tell me what it is. Yeah,
is it... Because, like, what you say it appears to be makes it sound like...
Is it?
But is it? Should I do detect magic? Should I be using true sight? Like, what should I be... Yeah, it's something that, like, I'm also guilty... I mean, it's just easy to do it. It's...
A similar thing that that caught my attention, and I think it catches my attention with a lot of fantasy writing, is can't decide how to describe it exactly, but like too much effort is made to describe the exact choreography of a fight. Like the description of her fighting the goblin was like too specific. Like I don't need all this granular detail of I hit you in this part of your body and flip you up and then onto your back quadrant. You know what I mean?
I kind of liked it. It's for me, it's like I could actually visually see the movements and how it looked in my mind. I'm okay with it. What gets me is I don't know. I was okay with it. It didn't really take me out of it.
It's tough. I mean, I think if you're writing for magic, probably there's a lot of pressure to like describe the magical stuff that's happening. And they're not they're probably not going to be happy with leaving it more to your imagination.
Right. I liked when I could actually visually see when she put up the magic barrier of the snow and it was shooting around. That's cool. The tentacle filament faced creatures was weird. I kind of
like that part. I like the elementals part. I didn't like that it just told us what they were eventually.
Yeah.
But I could kind of see that.
But yeah, so it's just a little bit rough here and there. It's not like it's a horrible thing, but definitely not something I'm like,
I need a whole book of this.
I mean, that's why when the fan fiction I wrote is poking fun at that kind of writing. Like, it's very heavy-handed, and I crafted it a way to be that way because it's funny to it's funny to me. But because I go over the top, that I'm doing satire, where this does not have the satire feel to it. It's
the echo in here was like in your fanfic. You were talking about his dragon-sized desk and his dragon-sized mug.
His dragon-sized mug, his dragon-sized.
All of the twin talk was that in this story.
Yes, exactly, and that's why it cracks me up because I have seen that in writing, and it's like you mentioned it once. I'm fine. Right. I get it, and you could do it in a really cool way, subtle way. That's fine. I don't need to be kept reminding that they're like the twin thing. Like they could have gotten rid of the fact of the ancestors said they looked alike and all this stuff, and then just did the cold womb thing. That would have been fucking cool. That's a cool reveal. And then it would make sense why they bicker so much and like why they're so like that because it's like, oh, you guys are like super close as twins.
Exactly. It is I do like the general structure, and I like the movement of like they're bickering, and then you see the turn of like, but when push comes to shove, they have each other's back 100%.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's part one of the twins. Maybe we'll continue this.
I guess we're also now a review show.
Sure, we're a variety show. Everything magic.
Everything magic. We should read the novels.
Oh boy.
War of the Spark and
I'll let
the
you
other
buy
one.
that. You can read that to me.
I'm not fucking buying anything.
All right, everybody. We'll continue the story another time. Thanks for listening. We're Red Mage Blue Mage.
Yes.
You can email us, redmagebluemage@geekspective.com. You can tweet at us at redbluemtg. You can tweet me at Wolfmere.
And I'm at Rocket Orca.
Until next time, I'll be representing Counterspell.
And I'll be covered in goblin blood.
Bye-bye.
Bye.